this week, one of the most high-profile corruption trials involving a former African cabinet minister gets underway in London. Diezani Alison-Madueke, Nigeria's former oil minister and once the most powerful woman in the country's energy sector, is facing bribery charges at the Southwark Crown Court. British prosecutors allege she accepted luxury gifts and payments in exchange for awarding lucrative oil contracts while in office, a claim she strongly denies. The case is being watched closely in Nigeria and beyond, seen as a landmark test of global anti-corruption enforcement and whether powerful political figures can still be held accountable years after leaving office. Senior International Correspondent Afua Hagan is at Southwark Crown Court, bringing you the latest from the trial. Good morning, Afua. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We see that you're outside the courts today. What can we expect from today's proceedings?
Today is the first day of the trial. It's expected to last 10 to 12 weeks. So today is really going to be about both sides setting out their stall, setting out their opening statements, and talking about what they expect to happen over the next 10 to 12 weeks of this trial. It's about the competing narratives for the prosecution and the defence. We're going to hear about how Alison-Madueke was alleged of taking bribes while she was in office, who was involved in arranging those bribes, and how those luxury benefits were delivered to the former minister. The defence is also expected to outline particularly why this case, they say, is politically motivated and why the evidence should be treated with caution. Of course, we have to say that she has denied all the charges against her.
I mean, can you quickly remind us, especially for the benefit of our viewers, while we would look forward to dissect that later on, what exactly are British prosecutors accusing her of doing while she was Nigeria's oil minister?
Well, Alison-Madueke, of course, was one of the most powerful government figures, a key government figure, as head of OPEC between 2010 and 2015. So she's been accused of accepting bribes and luxury benefits in exchange for securing lucrative oil contracts. Now, they say that this included flights on private jets, chauffeured cars, and high-end accommodation. And this is all linked to big business figures who are seeking favourable treatment in Nigeria's oil industry.
Wow.
All right. Also, just to quickly confirm about the evidence, these are strong allegations. She has denied them. But what evidence is the UK National Crime Agency presenting in court?
You're absolutely right in saying strong allegations against her. Now, the National Crime Agency is expected to rely on financial records, as well as witness and communication, so things like texts and emails that show how basically Alison-Madueke set up how she would receive these bribes and what she could do in exchange for getting the private jets, the high-end accommodation, the luxury travel. They're also supposed to present evidence of intermediaries, of the go-betweens between Alison-Madueke and the people who wanted to benefit from her being in that position. People prosecutors say acted as middlemen between the oil executives and the former minister as well. Now, this aims to show a pattern of bribery and corruption.
Afua, I worry about how this will turn out and how it's presented Nigeria on the international scene. How would you say this is important in telling our story in terms of how well we deal decisively with corruption? And what kind of image has it given us?
Well, this will really serve as a test case on how the UK government will deal with a crime that's international, that's happened on UK soil as well as on Nigerian soil. I think it will certainly serve as a test case. And you're absolutely right in saying this does reflect on Nigeria on the world stage. The fact that she is going to present herself today in London at Southwark Crown Court shows that someone perhaps that is prepared to take accountability. And I think also it will show others who perhaps may have done the same thing and may have done it on UK soil, that organisations like the National Crime Agency are intent on making sure that they get justice and that people are held accountable. Now, if that's the message that's going out, then perhaps this will show that countries like Nigeria or wherever else in the world where corruption happens, that if you do bring that to the United Kingdom, that perhaps your time is up. So I think that's how this case will be followed, that perhaps it will be a test case for international corruption trials going forward. In terms of how Nigeria reflects on the world stage, lots of governments have been accused of corruption in the past. It's now about whether people will be held accountable for their actions when they were in office and afterwards as well.
All right. It's all about accountability, but thank you so much for tracking this case. We know you will be joining us later on at 12 for the 12 report with Blessings Mosugu to give an update. Thanks for your time, Afua Hagan. Thank you.